Good morning, everybody. This is Christy from the Be the Light YouTube channel. I thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, I send you love. Okay, I am going to do my best here to get this message correct here. And I've kind of placed it all together this morning. Last night was, as we are expanding now intuitively, we are learning to trust. And I should have began this video with that we have lately been learning great lessons. I don't want to put test here because if you were anything like me, I didn't do very well on my testing scores because I was a very anxious child. I was afraid of the actual testing periods because I was more afraid of, will I finish in time? Will others think I am slower than them and then therefore think that I am more stupid? Silly things like that instead of focusing on the test at hand. I did very well with every lesson. I did very well with absorbing, taking notes, understanding. But because I had such great anxiety and fear about the test and the outcome of it, I didn't get the great score on the test that I knew I could accomplish. And so lately, if you noticed, I know I have for at least 4 or 5 days now. It could be a little bit less, but I'm just going to say 5 days, where I have been feeling as if what I'm going through is a lesson. I've had a brief period of time of complete silence, and it's kind of fluctuated between silence, some things, silence, some things. And this is a part of us learning at where we're at, taking everything that we have already gained in knowledge, wisdom, and trust, and can we handle the silence? And I like to use God as my example here. Is in those silent times when you are not hearing, seeing, or feeling God's presence in your life, how are you handling the things that are coming towards you? Now, I handle my everyday experiences pretty darn good that are outside of me. And it's more so now the emotions that are, or the emptiness, I guess, that void period that I get from time to time, that I should by now know I'm about to level up. And I have to remind myself, and it takes me sometimes a couple of days to go, oh, you silly girl, we are about to upgrade soon. And this is why you have this void period. So last night, as we are upgrading more through our inner knowing, however it is that you receive that, was the first time that I could actually, well, I won't say the first time. It's happened a long time ago, and it hasn't happened for a long time, where I can just immediately close my eyes and, well, I saw a symbol. It's more of a symbol that I received in glowing. A glowing red, fiery red. Fiery red. So I had to do my research about what it was. And so, excuse me, what I received, or upon research what that symbol was the sign of, and let me go double check before I mention it. It was the Jupiter. It was about the planet Jupiter, the symbol for Jupiter. And Jupiter went direct in Capricorn on September the 12th, if I am correct. Yes. Which is going to give us more of action now, instead of kind of a delay period. And so, upon other images or guidance that I received, this is what I have gathered. Now, I work with the spiritual side of things, not the astrological signs of things, although I incorporate astrologically to spiritually, and I hope that makes sense to you. Jupiter is associated with the sacral chakra. Yet Capricorn, and of course the sacral chakra has its associations with that, which I will get into. Capricorn deals with our joints and our skeletal system. Our sacral chakra is a water element, and I'll go into more depth about that towards the end. I am going to not go into too much detail here about what the sacral chakra represents. Within, you can do your own research about that if you do not know. Sagittarius, though, is a fire sign. Which is associated with the Archer, or Chiron. And this came into my awareness today, that a lot takes place within me when we are in Chiron. Because Chiron deals with our safety net and our sexuality. Of course, it's our sacral chakra. And it's also governed by the color purple, and people with great nobility were associated with wearing purple or had purple decor. I resonate with the color purple. And for the background of why it's such an important relationship between Sagittarius and the sacral plexus is because Chiron was abandoned as an infant and was found by the god Apollo. So not only did Chiron have abandonment issues of his parents giving him up because he looked different, he had to deal with looking different compared to other centaurs as well. He was born half man, half horse. Other centaurs were born of the sun in rain clouds, and I don't know what that actually looks like, so I didn't even do my research on that. But so when the sacral plexus comes around, or when Chiron comes back around, it's dealing with our sacral plexus, where we have, and I know for myself, I have had past abandonment issues. I have issues that stem back from my sexuality as well. And I'm dealing with that. But because it is dealing with our sexual organs, it's dealing with the fire. And we have to have that fire element. This is where it comes to be your spiritual side now. Because after this morning, I saw a bottle of water with the lid still intact, and the water was bubbling up. That tells me that it's going to get to a boiling point, and then that cap is going to burst out. The fire is needed to create that heat. that allows the water element to rise, for spirit to be implemented. Our nadis create the fire in the water. When it hits our sacral plexus, this is where it kind of germinates. It seeds and burns and boils a little bit. And I have been feeling burning in my sexual region. And that is telling me that, of course, what I am talking about is associated with what's now taking place. And today is the 14th, so the number 3 comes into play. This Jupiter went direct on the 12th. 3 days. Just think about that for yourself and see what takes place. So, again, you're gonna, if you're feeling fiery, or you can begin to feel fiery. When you have that sensation, if you are very in tune with the energies within you, that's what's going to be taking place. The stirring of the fire within has to begin to burn, ignite, and then it's going to rise. The heat element is going to eventually rise. I have also been feeling a sensation of a kind of like a flow of not burning, of course, to the point where it's painful burn through the nasal passages. That tells me, because when you can breathe clearly, you have great flow. You have created great flow, balanced flow within you, so that the element of fire and water can both, the fire is boiling that water up inside. It's boiling it and boiling it, and it's going to begin to rise, which eventually is going to reach the crown, and then burst. If you have gotten to this point, this is perhaps when it's the Kundalini, life force energy, the Holy Spirit, can make its way out of your crown without any obstruction. Because the whole time now we have been working within our bodies to create ease and flow. And by doing so, we are opening the chakra system. We are balancing the chakra systems. We are releasing limitations and fears and any type of pain. Which, of course, when implemented, can always and will always open up other dormant chakras that are associated with our divine path. And it takes time, because we don't just work with our sacral, for example. We'll work with that sacral, of that element, and then everything else that's associated. We go through all 4 elements, or 5 if you include the spirit side of it. Every time it's a coordination, so we'll go from the sacral to the third eye, for example, back to other area, the heart center, until there is a clear path. And that's the phrase I want you to hear. A clear path must be made until everything can work out as it's supposed to, move freely, and allow You know, I could say the holy water to rise. So I hope this kind of resonates with you today, and or does fully resonate with you today. I know this is what's taking place within myself, and knowing that we are all spiritual beings, light beings, a lot of us are having the same experience. Maybe slightly different, or of course, symptoms will be different. Daily life experiences will be different, but the spiritual concept of it all will be the same, or can't be the same. Just trying to make sure that I have everything together, and if I think of anything, I'll just add it to a separate video. So that is my message today, and what's taking place currently and what will be taking place. And please note that just because you aren't experiencing this now doesn't mean that you can't. Time is timeless when you think in terms of spirit and your higher self. There is no end to what can become. And as long as you are working towards the goal of receiving your higher self in the spirit, then that's what it shall be. And what I am talking about can be experienced. You might not understand it today, but in time, when you are ready for it, it shall be so. This is Christy. Much love, health, and healing your way. I am bringing purpose to your life. Take care.